What's the current flowing through the 5 ohm resistor? Well, I looked at this, I kind of labeled downhill. And I started to use my Kirchhoff's laws. Page 1 of the things I said, well, if that's 8 volts, up here, this is also 8 volts, and now I know 2 things. I said I can tell you the current. It's going to be V over R. It's going to be 8 divided by 5. Up there, I have 1.6 amps. Oh, you know what? That's all they wanted me to find. Good. D. 1.6 amps. And for what it's worth, 0.2 amps on the bottom. So I could give you this same circuit, and instead I could say find R2. Because if you know it's 0.4 amps down there, if I know 2 things, I know 4 things. Or how much power is being used by R2 or R3. 3 identical light bulbs are placed as shown. Which of the following is correct? I'm going to label downhill. The voltage and current are the same for all 3 bulbs. I disagree with that. If this is 30 volts, then this would be pulling 30, but each of these, if they're identical, would be pulling 15 volts. So A must be wrong. The current in light bulb Z is less than the current in light bulb X. Well, current is V over R. In Z, it would be 30 over R. In X, it would be 15 over R. You know what? I think the current in Z is going to be more. Oh, I just said the current in Z is going to be more. I think it's C, but let's look at D. The voltage across bulb Z is less than the volt. No, that's wrong. It's C. That's probably how I would answer that. I would make up some nice numbers. I might even have gone further and given each of these a resistor and actually solved the whole thing. But that's how I would do this, partly intuitively, partly with some numbers. Total current leaving the battery. Do I know 2 things? I'm going to start there. So the fact that I know 2 things, I can tell you the current here. Well, actually, not only that, I can tell you this branch here must be 8.5 volts. And so I can tell you the current on the right-hand side is 8.5 divided by 60, or 0.1416 repeating. And the current in the middle resistor is going to be 8.5 divided by 40, or 0.2125. I should have labeled downhill. I got too excited. I like solving circuits. Oh, and put units on there, Mr. Duick, so that you know what the heck you found. I should probably even call that I equals. So I guess the total current is going to be 0.2125 plus 0.141 and a bunch of 6s. 0.354 and change. I total is 0.3, what did I say? 54 amps. Now, if you got that 3 out of 3, otherwise I would give you 1 mark if I saw that current, 1 mark if I saw that current, and 1 mark for adding them together. And I would just look for that written somewhere on the circuit. Yes?
Could you rewrite the circuit in parallel?
I didn't need to. So why bother? Could you do extra work, more work, and still get the right answer? Sure. Maybe. Did you get the right answer?
Yeah.
You're good. What's the voltage of the battery? You see, now I don't really need to because I know there's 0.2. Oh, let's do it in blue, Mr. Duick. I know there's, 0.354 amps in that 10 ohm resistor, and so the voltage there is 3.54 volts. I also know there's 0.354 amps flowing in that upper resistor, and so the voltage there is times 25, 8.854. So the total voltage is going to be 8.854 plus 8.5 plus 3.54. Or, if I wanted to, I could ski that one. I'll get the same answer no matter what. It's going to be 8.54 plus 8.5 plus 3.54 plus 8.5 plus 3.54, and I get a total voltage of 20.9 volts. Is that correct, folks? People nodding. So 4 marks if you got that. Otherwise, how would I give you part marks? I would give you 1 mark if I saw that. I would give you 1 mark if I saw that. I would give you probably 1 mark for cluing in you had to add them together, and 1 mark for the answer. Number 4. Find the power loss through the resistor. Kai, do I know 2 things over here?
Yep.
I probably won't need to rewrite this. It's when I only know 1 thing on everything, that's usually when I need to rewrite. Okay. How would I start? Label downhill. Find total current. Don't know total current. In fact, don't have amps anywhere. Do I know 2 things? Right here. So I can tell you the current is V over R. 6 divided by 4.5, 1.3333, 1.333 repeating amps. Oh, not only that, I know that this must be 6 volts. The current there is going to be 6 divided by 9, 0.6667 amps. You know what the total current is? I think the total current leaving here is 2 amps. It's 1.99992. It's 2 amps if I add using my answer button. And that means up there, I also have 2 amps. This question's going to fall apart. Now I can tell you that's 32 volts. That's 10. Actually, you know what? I could have quit right here. It wants the power loss through the 5 ohm resistor. I didn't even need to find that 32. I could have gone power is I squared R. I haven't used that one much, but I got I got R. I'm good to go. It's going to be 2 squared times 5. It's going to be 20 watts. If you got that, 4 out of 4. Otherwise, I would give you 1 mark if I saw that, 1 mark for that, 1 mark for finding total current, 1 mark for the answer. B. Suppose the 4.5 ohm resistor is removed. Okay, so we're going to get rid of that one totally. Gotcha. If the 5 ohm resistor is a light bulb, how does its brightness compare? You know what? I'm really asking what's going to happen to the current. Well, I guess if I remove that, our total would end up being in series 16 plus 9 plus 5. Is that 30? And so I total would be the voltage, 48, divided by 30, 1.6. Did I total get bigger or smaller? What was it originally? 2? Now what is it? So instead of 2 amps going through here, how many amps are going through here? And if brightness is I squared R, is it going to be dimmer, unchanged, or brighter? I decreases, so power decreases. That's one way I would handle it. So I would give you 1 mark for dimmer. And then if you found total current of 1.6, I would give you 1 mark. And for that, there's probably another way you could do it as well. Did anybody else try answering it differently? You can ask me, and I can probably give you a yay or nay. That's how I would do it, though. I think it gets you there the quickest. Yeah, it turns out I never needed to find this voltage up here. I know it's 32, but never used it, so why bother? That would be like rewriting a circuit when I didn't need to. Can you give yourself a score, please, out of 16 out of 1-6, please?